זו פרשת שמות ליום רביעי. פתח רבי ואמר, דודי לי ואני לא, הלא רואה בשנים. מה גרם לי שאני לדודי ודודי לי, כדי שהוא מנהיג עולמו בשושנים. Rabbi Abba says, as it is written, I am of my beloved, and my beloved is mine. And this beloved who, Ore Bashanim, who directs, if we want, with roses. So what makes it that I am of my beloved, and my beloved is mine? Because he directs as with roses. מה שושן יש בו ריח והוא אדום, מוצקים אותו ומתחפר לבן. עולם לכו לא זז. ככה הקדוש ברוך הוא מנהיג עולמו בדרך זה. As a rose has a scent, and it is also red in general. Once we cook it, like we have to do what we call in French l'eau de rose, which is the rose, the liquid that comes from the roses. It's the same thing as we have to cook it. And then when we cook the rose, it becomes white. That's the color of the liquid, and it still keeps always, even if it's liquid, it still keeps its scent. He said the same thing. Hashem directs His world the same thing. When man sins, and he does things that he's not supposed to do, but then he does teshuvah. Then the red becomes white. What that means? I mean, all his midat adin, all his gevurah that he did with all his sins, is transformed in midat rachamim, which is white. Because if this wasn't, the world would not sustain because of all the sins of men. And the sins are compared to red, as it is written. Even if you have a lot of sins, like the snow, I will whiten them. מקריב קורבנו לאש שהוא אדום, זורק אדם סביב למזבח שהוא אדום, מידת הדין, אדום מוצקים אותו, ועולה העשן כולו לבן, ואז האדום נהפר ללבן, נהפר מידת הדין ומידת הרחמים. It's the same thing when I was at Bet HaMikdash and they was bringing a korban, and the korban you had to take the dam, the blood, right, which is red, and sprinkle it around the mizbeach. So the dam is red to represent midat adin, right? But when we took the korban and we burned it, what happened is it became white because all the smoke that came out, right, was white. So the red became white. The midat adin became midat chachamim. ותחזה כל מידת הדין את אין צריך הריח שלו אלא מצד אודם. והיינו דאמר רבי יהודה מה דכתיב והתגודדו כמשפטם וגומר עד שפך דם עליהם אלא היו יודעים שלא ישיגו מידת הדין כרצונם זולתי באודם. He says, and come and see, this midat adin, it needs its this scent, if you want, okay, that comes from the blood. As Rabbi Yehuda says, when talking about the Avodat Zarah of the Baal, what they used to do, they used to take the opposite. I mean, they used to take the blood out. In other words, they used to take from the white to the red and transform the Midat Rachamim into Midat Adin. That was the idea, to bring out the blood. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, ve'od, and even more. Odem v'lavan nikra v'la'olam. וריח עולה משתיהם, מה שושן אדום ולבן, כאן ריח הקורבן לקורבן מאדום ללבן. It says the same thing of the korban. The korban had white and red, right? But once it's burned, everything is white. The same thing as we compare to the rose. Like the rose also can be red, but can be white. But for sure, once we cook it to get this liquid with the scent of the rose, then it only becomes white. It doesn't keep another color. דיבור בורא, רק כתורת שם מסמלים מהם אדומים ומהם לבנים, כגון הלבנות שהוא לבן, מה דהרו אדום, הריח עולה באדום ולבן, ועל כן מנהיג עולמו משלים שהוא אדום ולבן, רוצים להקריב לי לחלב בדם. The same thing as we think about the ketoret. The ketoret, there was some ingredients that were red and some that were white. And but the scent, the smoke, right, that was coming out of this ketoret was transformed from red to white. So the same thing as Hashem does direct his will and transform the red, which is the midat adin, into the white, which is the midat chachamim. נגד זה אדם מקריב חלבו ודמו, כפר לו זה אדום וזה לבן, מה השושן שהוא אדום והוא לבן, הם מוסיקים אותו לעזור כולו לבן אלא באש, כאן קורבן אש מוסיקים אותו לעזור כולו לבן אלא באש. So the same thing when a man when he is fasting, right? So he's burning inside of him his fat and his blood, right? And this is compared to the burning of the korban de mizbeach. As we said, the same thing as a rose, which is red, becomes white in the liquid. And this can only be done by burning it, right? By boiling it. Okay, so it's the same thing. עכשיו מי שיוסף תעניתו בקריב חלבו ודמו אינו נמסק לאחוזו כולו לבן אלא באש. אמר רבי יהודה מתוך תעניתו של אדם חלשין עבריו וגובר עליו האש ובאותה שעה צריך להקריב חלבו ודמו באותו האש והוא הנקרא מזבח כפרה. The same thing, the one that is fasting, so he brings his fat and his blood like as an offering, like while as a korban, because of his, since he's suffering, right, and he feels weak, so it's inside of him there's this fire that burns it, and we know someone that does not eat loses weight, right? So the fasting automatically, how does he lose weight? Because his fat inside of him is burning, is disappearing, right? Just the same idea. And he said at that moment, when the person has instead, that's where he brings his korban, his korban kapara. The same thing as Rabbi Elazar was fasting. He was saying this tefillah. It is revealed and known to you, Hashem, that I bring to you my fat and my blood, והלטפתי אותם בחמימות חולשה גופי, and I have boiled them, if we want, because of this the warmth in my body, because of this חולשה, this weakness that I have now since I'm fasting. ירסוף אליך שיהיה ריח העולה בפי בשעה זו כעולה בקורבן באש המזבח. It says, be it your will that this scent that is coming out from my mouth now, it will be like the scent that was coming from the korban was burning on the mizbeach. And that you will do that you will accept my demands. נמצא שאדם הוא מקריב בתעניתו החלב ואדם והריח שרוני בפיו הוא מזבח כפרה ולפיכך תיקנו התפילה במקום הקורבן. So we understand by that the man that is fasting, right, and he's burning inside of him his fat and his blood, so then what comes out of his mouth is considered as this reach, this scent from the korban. So we understand then that when a man does a tefillah, it is the same thing. The tefillah, what comes out is also like a reach of a korban. Why? Because this kavanah, he has this will he has when somebody prays that he's supposed to pray. He is burning something inside of him, which is it's not anymore the fat and the blood, but something spiritual that is burning inside to bring out this tefillah to its right meaning, right? And this is also a korban. The same thing, it says everything that is, Rabbi Yitzchak says, everything that is with fire, you should purify it with fire. So, the same thing as we burn our fat and our blood inside of us, okay? Because we like suffering, right? Because when we fast and we try to we fast and we hold, right? Because we want to fast and we make sure that we're not going to eat. Indeed, this will and this strength is the same thing as we're talking about tefillah. The difference is, instead of burning the fat and the dam physically, you are burning something else spiritual, which means you are holding, you are trying to concentrate on your tefillah, right, and bring it where it's supposed to be. So this concentration is comparable to the burning. Rabbi Yosef, שהיה בית המקדש קיים, אדם מקים קורבנו בעניין זה, כפר לו. עכשיו תפילתו של אדם מכפר לו במקום, הקורבן כך הוא כוונאיו. Rabbi Yosef says, when there was the Beit HaMikdash, the Korban used to do this. Now the Korban doesn't do it anymore. What does it? Is the Tefillah. And this is the Korban that we bring. This is what we burn. This is what we bring to Hashem. It's a spiritual Tefillah that goes all the way up.